Namaste. Today we will learn a few beginner's level yoga poses to learn certain basic movements in yoga, particularly the external rotation of the legs from the very root of the thigh, upper thigh, the extension of the torso, lengthening of the spine, such that you are extending towards the ceiling as well as towards the floor at the same time, lengthening the body, the torso, and the rotation of the shoulder heads back and down while pushing the dorsal spine, which is the spine right behind the breastbone, forward, so that the chest remains broad and expanded at all times. So we'll begin with tree pose or Vrykshasana. To begin, first stand in mountain pose Tadasana. Feet can be together or slightly apart. Press the heels down, extend the entire sole of the foot forward, and then press the toes down into the ground. Do that on both feet equally. Pull the shins up, the calves up, kneecaps up, tops of the thighs up and back, simultaneously, buttocks moving forward. Extend the torso up, roll the shoulder heads, these two corners of the shoulders, the shoulder heads down towards the hips, and press the dorsal spine forward, expanding the chest, the collarbone broad. Roll the biceps out, pull the arms straight, elbows straight, head right atop the spine. To do tree pose, we will turn the right leg first, putting all the weight on the left leg. Turn the right leg from the very root, from the very top, not just the foot, not just the knee, the entire leg. From the very root, turn towards the side while keeping the rest of the body straight. Lift up the ankle, and you can stand by the wall if balance is an issue. Once you have the balance, press the foot strongly, the bent leg's foot strongly into the straight leg thigh. Bring the arms, the hands together, pressing the bent leg foot into the thigh. Strongly extend your arms up. If you can't see my hands, they are joined together, palms touching each other. The bent leg thigh keeps rolling out, and the straight leg's knee is straight and pulled up into the thigh, front of the thigh. Bring your hands back down, slowly with control. Bring your leg down, the right leg down beside the left leg. Tadasana, mountain pose. Maintain the chest broad and keep the elbows and knees straight. Now we will do the other side. Put all your weight on your right foot. Turn the left leg out from the very root top of the thigh. Turn the leg out while maintaining the right side straight. Pressing on the straight leg's sole of the foot strongly, bend the left leg, left knee. You can put the right hand on your hips for balance. Lift the left leg up, hold the ankle, place it into the inside of the thigh strongly while turning the thigh outwards towards the back wall here, towards your back wall. Bring the hands together, palms touching each other. Keep the shoulder heads moving down the back, dorsal spine pushed forward, chest expanded. Raise the arms up towards the ceiling. Straight leg knee hold up, bent leg, left leg, thigh turning outwards and backwards. Breathe. Bring the hands back down. With control, bring the left foot beside your right foot and bring the hands down, Tadasana. Let's repeat this one more time, focusing on the 3 points that I mentioned earlier. First is that when we turn the leg, we don't just turn the foot, we don't just turn the shin, we turn the entire leg from the very root out. When we are extending the arms up in tree pose, make sure not just to extend your arms, but to extend from the root, from the very root of the spine up, so that this lift of the torso lifts your arms even higher. And then keep your shoulder heads moving down and the dorsal spine pushing forward, keeping the chest as expanded as possible. So let's try that once again. Stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. Lift your right leg up. Place it on the inside. Place the foot on the inside of the left thigh. Palms joined together. Right thigh turning out. Right knee pushing backwards. Raise the arms up. Shoulder heads moving down. Chest expanded. Bring your hands down with control. Bring the foot back down. Tadasana. The other side. Turn the left leg outwards, externally rotating from the very root of the thigh. Bring the leg up. Place the foot on the inside of the straight leg's thigh, right thigh. Once you have gained the balance, bring the hands together, shoulder heads rolling down, dorsal spine expanding the chest, arms up, keep the chest as broad as possible, keep the shoulder heads rolling back and down, chest broad, breathe. The bent leg's knee is rotating, is turning backwards to the back wall, and the thigh is moving outwards. And with control, bring the leg back down. Now we will do another pose, triangle pose, Trikonasana, where we will also learn the rotation of the leg out from the very root, the extension of the torso, and the rolling of the shoulder heads down the back, keeping the chest expanded. Stand in Tadasana, mountain pose, and bring your fingertips to touch in front of the chest. Bend your knees and jump or step your feet out wide. Turn the right toes out 90 degrees. Here also, keeping the heel strongly on the ground, keep your sole of the foot extended, all 5 toes of the foot extending forward. And turn the left foot in slightly, the left toes in slightly, and pressing the outside of the left foot strongly into the ground. Keep the torso extended forward and the shoulder heads moving down the back, chest expanded. As you exhale, bring the right side of the body towards the right, extending the right side, and touch either the floor or the ankle or the shin, whichever is accessible. Pressing down, turn or revolve the chest towards the ceiling. The left hand up straight, fingertips towards the ceiling. Look up at the ceiling if possible, or look forward. With the next breath, come up, turn your foot to the front, and the other side. Left foot turns out, right foot turns in slightly. Keeping the torso extended and the shoulder heads rolling back so that the neck is long. Extend towards the left. Keeping the left side of the body long as possible. Come to touch the floor or the ankle or the shin. Revolve the chest towards the ceiling. Keep the back leg, the right leg here pressed strongly, right foot pressed strongly into the ground, both kneecaps straight, kneecaps pulled up, knees straight, and the torso lengthening towards the left side. Look at the ceiling or to the front, whichever is accessible. Breathe in and come up. Turn your feet to the front. Bend your knees and come back to Tadasana. We'll repeat this another time to make sure we've got these movements. Turning the root of the thigh from the very top, extending the torso, the spine up, and rolling the shoulder heads down, pushing the dorsal spine forward to keep the collarbone and the chest extended. Let's try that once again. Stand in Tadasana, mountain pose, and we will do Trikonasana or triangle pose. Bring your hands in front, fingertips touching, bend your knees and jump or walk your feet 3.5 to 4 feet wide, comfortably wide. Then turn your right foot 90 degrees to the right and turn your left foot slightly in, pressing down on that outer heel of the left foot strongly. Pull both kneecaps up so that both legs are straight. Pull the torso up and roll the shoulder heads down the back. Extend towards the right, keeping the right side of the torso long. And come down to the floor with the right hand. Revolve the chest, keeping both sides of the torso long. Shoulder heads moving towards the hips. Dorsal spine pressing the back of the chest so that the chest is expanding. Revolve the chest, look up at the ceiling. Breathe and come up. Turn your foot to the right. Turn your right foot forward and turn your left foot out and right foot slightly in. Keep your torso extended. Re-extend your torso. Roll the shoulder heads down and back. Keep the chest expanded. And with the next breath out, come down to the floor, keeping the left side of the torso as extended as the right side. Breathe. Revolve the chest and look up at the ceiling. Keep the shoulder heads moving down the back and towards the hips. Chest expanded, chest broad, knees straight, elbows straight, arms straight. Breathe in and come up. And turn your feet to the front, bringing the feet together, Tadasana. So we saw these movements in straight-legged positions in the triangle pose. Now we will do Utthita Parshva Konasana, extended side angle pose, where the knee towards which we are bending is also bending and not straight as in triangle pose. So let's see how that happens. Stand in Tadasana, roll your shoulder heads back, press the dorsal spine into the back of the chest so that the chest expands. Keep the torso long and extended, fingertips into the ground. Bend your knees and jump out as far wide as possible, 3 to 4 feet. And turn your right feet out 90 degrees. Turn your left foot in slightly. Bend your front knee so that you bring your knee right over your heel. So my thigh isn't completely parallel to the ground, but ideally this thigh should be parallel to the ground. Instead of moving the foot forward, the bent knee forward, move the back leg back as far as possible to bring the thigh as parallel to the ground as you can. So now my knee is no longer over the heel, as you can see. So this is too wide for me. I have to come back towards the center, bring the knee over the heel, and this is as far as I can go. Extend the arms towards the horizons and then bend towards the right side, bringing your right hand right behind your right foot, left hand on the left hip. Roll the chest up, revolve the chest towards the ceiling, and extend your arms up towards the right side. Here also, keep that right knee, right shin pressing into the arm and the arm pressing into the shin while you rotate the chest, revolve the chest towards the ceiling. Breathe and bring yourself up. Straighten your right leg. Turn to the front. Turn your feet to the front. Now turn your left foot to the left. Right foot slightly in. Keep the torso extended. Keep the shoulder heads moving down the back. Chest expanded. Dorsal spine pushing in to the back of the chest. Bend the left knee and look at the knee that it should be right atop the heel, not going any forward, not going towards the toes, but right atop the heel. Keep the torso extended and bend towards the left side. First bringing your hand to the right hip, right hand to the right hip. And as you press the left hand down, revolve the chest towards the ceiling. Extend the right hand towards the left. The left thigh should ideally be parallel to the ground, and the left knee should be right over the left heel. Breathe and come up. Straighten the knee, the left knee. Both knees now straight, and then jump into Tadasana. So this is a little bit more difficult than the triangle pose, and we'll try this one more time to see whether we can get the 3 movements that we are trying to follow. First is the movement of the thigh from the very root outwards, the extension of the torso and the rolling back of the top shoulder heads down, keeping the chest expanded. So let's try that one more time. Stand in Tadasana. Bring your hands in front of you, bend your knees, and walk or jump your feet as wide as 3.5 to 4 feet. Turn your right foot to the right and the left foot in slightly. You need to be slightly wider than the triangle pose. Bend your right knee, bring the right hand behind the right foot, Press the right shin into the right arm. Extend the left arm towards the right. Keep the shoulder heads moving back towards the hips. Revolve the chest and look up at the ceiling. Breathe. Keep your torso extending to the right. Press that left heel strongly into the ground. Breathe and come up. Straighten the right knee. Turn it to the front. Turn the right foot to the front. Turn the left foot to the left. Turn the right foot slightly inwards. Bend the left knee so that the left knee is right over the left heel. Keep the torso extended. Keep the shoulder heads moving back. Extend towards the left and bring the left hand right behind the left foot. Extending the torso towards the left and rotating, revolving the chest towards the ceiling at the same time. Extend the right hand towards the left. Keep the shoulder heads moving towards the hips. Chest as expanded as possible. Breathe in, lift up, turn the left foot to the front, bend your knees and bring the feet together, Tadasana. Now we will do Virabhadrasana II or Warrior Pose 2, Warrior 2 in short. Here also we will bend the knees and separate the feet 4 feet around, 4 feet wide. Turn towards one side, the right here first. Right foot 90 degrees to the right. Left foot, left toes slightly to the right. Extending the right thigh backwards and bending the right knee simultaneously towards the right, bringing the right leg right atop the right heel. Keeping the torso extended, rolling the shoulders back and down. Breathe and come back up. Turn the feet to the front. The other side. Turn the left foot to the left. The right foot, the right toe slightly to the left. And keeping the torso long and the shoulder heads moving down the back, chest expanded. Bend your left knee, bringing the left knee just over the left heel. It tends to move forward towards the front. Keep it mindfully on top of the heel while trying to bring the left thigh towards parallel to the ground. And then breathe and come up. Turn your feet to the front. Bend your knees and come back to Tadasana. We'll try this one more time. It's the same movement as we did in the slightly more complex pose, extended side angle pose, because here you don't need to bend to the ground, but the movement of the thigh rotating outwards, the torso extending and retaining its length, and the shoulder heads moving back and down while the chest is expanded are all the same kinds of movements. So let's try that once again. Warrior Pose 2, Virabhadrasana II. Stand in Tadasana, hands in front of your chest. Separate your feet out wide. Turn your right foot to the right, left foot slightly to the right. Bend your right knee, bring the right knee right over the right ankle. Keep the torso extended. Roll the shoulder heads down the back. Breathe. And straighten the right knee. Bring the feet forward. Turn to the left. Left foot to the left. Right foot slightly to the left. Keep the torso extended. Roll the shoulders back. Chest expanded. Bend the left knee strongly to a 90-degree angle so that the thigh is parallel to the ground and the left knee is on top of the left heel. Breathe. And straighten the right left knee. And bring the left foot forward. Come back into Tadasana. Okay, now we will do wide-legged forward bend, Prasarita Padottanasana. Extended wide-legged forward bend. Intense forward stretch. In this pose, we will spread our legs wide as we did in Trikonasana and extended side angle pose and in Warrior II. Moving the roots of the thighs outwards, but keeping the feet parallel to each other. So the feet are parallel, but the roots of the thighs are still moving out. Kneecaps straight, kneecaps pulled up, knees straight. Put your hands on your hips. Look up slightly to extend the chest, to emphasize the expansion of the chest. And then bend forward, keeping the feet strong and kneecaps pulled up, knees straight. Once you are parallel to the ground, you can put your hands on the floor, pressing the heels strongly into the ground. Pull the torso forward to extend the torso. Extend the spine. Look on the floor just slightly ahead of your eyes, keeping that extension, keeping the back concave. Concave Prasarita Padottanasana. Concave back Prasarita Padottanasana. The outsides of the feet are digging into the ground slightly stronger than the insides of the feet. Breathe. Keep the kneecaps pulled up, knees straight. Then we will bend the elbows and bring the hands in between the legs, still rolling the shoulders up. So here we are slightly inverted. We are inverted. So the roll of the shoulders feels different. The shoulder head moving up towards the hips, and the hips are moving down at the same. The spine is moving down at the same time. Keep the shoulder heads moving up. They tend to move towards the head. Keep the shoulder heads rolling up and keep the spine extending down. At one point in time, don't rush it. At one point in time, the top of the head will touch the ground, but don't force it. So keep focusing on the straightness of the legs, the strength of the legs, the extension of the torso, and the rolling up of the shoulder heads while the spine slowly extends to the ground. Then extend forward, look forward, bring the hands forward, back to the concave back position. And then bring your hands into the hips and raise up. Bring the hands wide, bend the knees, come back to Tadasana. Feet together. So let's do this once again. This is a very good pose for the hamstrings, extending the hamstrings, as well as gaining strength in the legs, opening the hips. Lots of benefits of this pose. So let's try this once again. It's called Prasarita Padottanasana, extended wide-legged forward bend. So let's try that one more time. Roll the shoulder heads down and back. Extend the torso up. Press the heels strongly into the ground, soles of the feet extending. All the things you do in Tadasana. And then separate your legs out wide into a wide stance, 3.5 to 4 feet wide, but the feet are parallel to each other, even slightly turned inwards. Then bring your hands to the hips, extend that torso up, look up, and bend forward. Keep the kneecaps pulled up, knees straight, hands on the ground, once parallel. Keep extending the top of the head forward, look slightly ahead. Press the outsides of the feet strongly into the ground. Breathe. Then bend your elbows, bring the hands between your feet and keep extending the spine to the ground while rolling the shoulder heads up towards the hips. Keep the legs straight, kneecaps pulled up. Keep the spine surrendering towards the ground, towards the earth, while rolling the shoulder heads up. Don't let the shoulder heads move towards the ears. Let the spine move towards the earth, but the shoulder heads still move towards the hips. The angle between the forearm and the upper arm is 90 degrees. As you breathe in, extend that spine. And as you breathe out, roll those shoulder heads up until your head reaches the ground or doesn't. Keep the spine extended, that's the point. And then extend forward. Pull the torso straight and long. Bring the feet closer if they are too wide. Bring your hands to the hips and rise up. Roll the shoulder heads down, chest expanded. Bring your feet close. Bend your knees and come back to Tadasana. Breathe. The last pose we will do is Parighasana or gate pose, which also has these movements of moving the thigh from the very root outwards, extension of the torso to the side, to each side, as well as rolling the shoulder heads back while trying to close the gate. So we'll try that. Move slightly towards the left side of your mat and kneel down with your feet untucked. And press you can sit down for a little while. That helps in pressing the shins, the tops of the shins, the outer front part of the shins strongly into the ground. And pressing that shin, keeping that press of the shin into the ground. Kneel up, bring your buttocks up and kneel. Keep the shins pressed. Then bend that right leg, rotating it outwards externally, moving that knee back just as we did in tree pose, triangle pose, extended side angle pose. Rotate that and then extend that right leg out straight till you are straight on the left side and your right leg is extended out straight. The toes are pointing towards the ceiling. Extend your arms up. So here also again we are extending the torso up, spine up, but rolling the shoulder heads down and back, chest expanded, wide arms, extend towards the right and try to close the gate by bringing the left arm as close as possible to touch the right hand. And then come back up straight, knees come back into kneeling position and sit. Now we have to move to the other side to do the left leg. So here we're moving towards the right side so that we can extend out the left leg. Kneel, but press those shins down strongly into the ground. Then extend that left leg out from the very root of the thigh. Turn it outwards. Keeping the right side of the leg straight, extend that left leg out and flex the foot so that the toes point to the ceiling. Kneecap pulled up towards the hip and arms extending out. Torso extending upwards. Shoulder heads moving down the back, chest expanded. Bend and try to reach that left arm all the way to the right foot. Roll the chest up towards the ceiling and keep the chest as expanded as you can. And then come up and bring that foot back and rest. So we'll do it another time. Although this pose looks slightly different, it has the same essential movements that we did in tree pose, triangle pose, as well as extended side angle pose and warrior two. That is, when you take the bent leg, the side leg out, you have to rotate it from the very root of the thigh, moving the bent knee, rolling the thigh back. Then extend that right leg out until you can flex the foot and point the toes towards the ceiling. Extend the arms out, roll those shoulder heads down the back, expand the chest and keep the torso pulled up. Then extend to the right and bring that left hand to the right foot. Roll the chest up, keep the chest as expanded as possible. And then come up, bring that right foot back and rest. And then we'll go to the other side. Torso straight, pulled up, shins strongly into the ground, particularly the right shin. Bend the left leg from the very root of the thigh. Roll externally towards the left and back, your back. And then extend that right leg out until you can flex the foot and point the left toes towards the ceiling. Keep the torso pulled up, extend those arms out towards the horizon, roll those shoulder heads down so that the neck stays long, extend the chest, expand the chest and bring the left hand towards the right foot, towards the left foot and roll the chest to look up at the ceiling. Come up, bring the foot back and rest. So that was Parighasana or gate pose. So we did triangle. First we did Tadasana, Vrykshasana, tree pose, triangle pose, Trikonasana, extended side angle pose, Utthita Parshva Konasana. We did Virabhadrasana II, warrior two pose, and we did Prasarita Padottanasana, extended wide-legged forward bend, and the last pose we did was Parighasana or gate pose. Namaste.